Hello, Mike here from MikeOverlanding with part 2 of my video on the Bedrack and Tonneau cover, more specifically a coiling cover. In this part I'm going to take a look at the coiling cover primarily. If you're interested in the, go to part 1 if you want to look at the Bedrack portion. I did purchase them together. The coiling cover comes custom made to work with this Bedrack. They do make this, the original manufacturer, which is Truck Covers USA. I think they're out of California. They do make this for other trucks, but this one was customized by the place I bought it from, Nut House Industries in Ohio, where they've customized this to work with the Bedrack, which is why I got it. I searched high and low to try to find a combination of both, and this was the only one I could find. There was another one in process, another manufacturer, but by June of 2020 they hadn't been shipping and they hadn't opened it up yet. So this was the only one I could find. The downside is, it is a little bit spendy. You do pay for this, but it is custom, so there's some value in that. It's really hard to say anything negative about either of these. They've just been wonderful. Like I mentioned in my previous video, I've taken this in the Rocky Mountains, over 14,000 feet on a Jeep trail. I've gone 90+ miles an hour with it. I've been in pouring rain driving, I've been in pouring rain stationary, and it really hasn't leaked. Now I think a lot of the lack of leaking has to do with I purchased a rooftop tent. I think that helps a lot. Before I purchased the tent, I took this through a drive-through car wash, and you would get some water in there, to be honest with you. So I'm going to open it up and show you. I'm going to try to refer to my notes just to kind of keep this going a little bit here. But for me, the most often question I get is, can you put a refrigerator in here? And that was one of my 7 bullet points that I needed to have before I bought one, and that was, yes, I can put a refrigerator in here. Now this is an ARB 35 quart refrigerator. It fits in here fine. I don't have it permanently mounted. That could be a challenge if you buy one of those slides that come in it, that would raise it up and you might have an issue. But I don't have an issue whatsoever with this. When I go, I've got so much gear in here, it's kind of packed in pretty tight. It ain't going anywhere. And I do keep the back vents clear of anything so it can breathe. I actually will also, if it's not raining, I'll leave the cover open a little bit while I'm driving. This battery doesn't like to be too hot. I think 113 degrees or something. I'll do another video on the battery some other time. It's a Yeti 1000 from Gold Zero. That's awesome. But I do have that in the back, and I have this, so I do like to get some ventilation back there. If it's raining, I will close it up a little bit. But as you can see, no issues whatsoever with hitting the refrigerator, so that is super. You just simply release it and it'll go back all the way, and pull it up. There's a few stations, like every 12 inches or so, where you can pull this up and it'll automatically stop. But it has been slick. So one of the things I wanted to make sure of was I didn't want dust, dirt, snow, sleet, rain. I wanted to keep my gear good and dry, and this really has done it. Another reason is security. This is aluminum. It would take an enormous effort to break through to get into here. And you know, you park and you go for a hike in the woods, you don't want to come back and find that a bear has come in and eaten your food or gotten through stuff, or a raccoon, or people taking things. You pull up to a supermarket to get resupplied before you continue on your journey. You know, these things are expensive. You know, someone could walk away with them. So The other tonneau covers, you know, they keep prying eyes out, but unless you get a steel one or aluminum one or something that folds, you're not going to have the protection you need from predators or creatures or other people. The other thing is that I noticed on this is that I want to, you know, be able to open this. My original plan was to have this all the way to the side here, but I really can't do that because I hit this beam here. So what I've decided to do is, you know, it's important to me to be able to get access from the side. So I moved it in a little bit, and I have 2 water containers that I stick in between here, and it works out perfect. And then this sits right next to it. Again, I'm going to do a video with all my gear, kind of a walk around, so you'll see that later. But once I move this over a little, I have no problem opening it. I have no trouble getting to it. Again, one of the reasons why I got this Bedrack is so that I could have access to things from the side. And I can get, you know, anything I need, really good access. So it's been wonderful. Again, driving, nothing moves around. I've never had any issues with anything. It's been great. So overall performance, excellent. Things stay dry. Lid, like I said, I can lift that lid. They do tell you, when I did get this, they give you some rubber hoses here that you can plug in at each of the 4 corners, and you drain it, and they tell you to drill a hole into the side of the inside, and then they give you a plug to connect it, and so any rain runoff would go there and not stay in your bed. I don't really want to put a hole in, or 4 holes in my Jeep, so I've used the hose, and I've kind of had it set down here so that it doesn't just spray everywhere. At least comes to the bottom, and then if it comes out here. But like I said before, it's pouring rain while driving 80 miles an hour, pouring rain stationary, and this thing didn't leak at all. Again, a lot of it has to do with that. But car wash, I did have some water in here going through a high pressure car wash. It's rugged, easy to close. Oh, you can close this and open it without having to do the rear hatch. There's a, I'll take a picture of this, but there's a way to open this and close this without having to open the tailgate. Okay, one other thing is, it is aluminum, and I live in a climate where it's winter and they salt the roads, so I feel good about that. Putting the Max Tracks up there, I actually had to climb on this in my back and slide underneath it to hook it up. I had all kinds of gear in here. We were on our trip when I did that, and it held my weight, and so this is pretty darn strong lying on it. I mean, I wouldn't jump around on it, but it's really good. Okay, so that concludes my presentation on the Coiling cover. I hope you found it informative and helpful, and thank you for watching.